and my jaw suddenly unhinged. I didn't mean to, but my throat opened up. Julian looked down at my mouth, and the sheer terror on his face froze the entire kitchen.
The email came in on Tuesday morning while I was standing in my kitchen, waiting for my coffee machine to brew. The subject line read, "Important Resident Safety Notice." I assumed the elevator was broken again, but the text was different. "Dear residents, until further notice, please do not use your door peephole after 9 p.m. If someone knocks after this time, call the front desk immediately. Do not visually confirm through the glass. Thank you. Oakridge Manor Management." I texted a screenshot to my best friend, Maya. She replied, "Girl, what kind of horror movie building are you living in?" I laughed it off. I live alone in Unit 4B. It's a historic, rundown building, so weird rules didn't really surprise me. But at 9:45 that night, someone knocked on my door. 3 soft, carefully spaced out taps. I paused my TV and walked toward the entrance. Then I remembered the email. I almost laughed at myself for being scared. I leaned in and asked, "Who is it?" No answer. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was another email from management. "Residents are reminded not to use their peepholes tonight. If you have already looked, remain inside your unit and do not answer. They are watching the light change." My blood ran cold. Then, a low voice whispered from the other side of my door, "Don't worry. You haven't looked yet." I stumbled backward, dropping my keys. Terrified, I called the front desk. A woman answered, her voice completely calm. "There's someone outside my door," I panicked. "What unit?" she asked. 4B. There was a heavy pause. "Have you used your peephole tonight?" "No," I lied. "Are you sure?" "Yes." The woman exhaled heavily. "Then don't start now. Move away from the door. Maintenance has been notified." "What's the work order code?" I asked, suspicious. In our building, maintenance always provides a specific code before entering. The woman went silent, then abruptly hung up. Right then, Maya called me back. Before I could speak, she gasped, "Are you home? Lock your bedroom door right now. I just received creepy photos from your number." I looked at my text thread. Images were downloading. The first one was me, taken earlier that day, folding laundry in my bedroom. The angle was from directly above. It was taken from the dusty ventilation vent right over my closet. My phone buzzed again. Another live photo came through. It was me, asleep in my bed from last night. Below the photo was a text message I hadn't typed. "She's home." Outside my door, 3 heavy knocks rattled the frame. "Maintenance," a calm, tired male voice called out. "Ma'am, I need you to look through the peephole to confirm it's me." Maya whispered through the phone. "Don't look. That's how they know you're standing there." The man outside sighed. "Ellie, you live alone. Let us help you." My jaw dropped. Ellie isn't on my lease. It's an old nickname only 3 people know. "We can hear you breathing," the man whispered through the wood. Then, the doorknob began to turn. I scrambled to the kitchen, grabbing a heavy chair and wedging it under the knob. I dragged the dining table in my laundry basket, barricading the door. The lock clicked open. The deadbolt held, but only barely. "Ellie," The man laughed softly. You should have just looked when we knocked. Maya was sobbing on the phone, telling me to jump out the window, but I'm on the 4th floor with no fire escape. I stared back at my bedroom door. The dark vent above the closet looked like a gaping mouth. My phone buzzed with one more digital photo. It was the interior of my apartment, taken from that bedroom vent. It showed my empty bed, the open door, and in the hallway mirror's reflection, the silhouette of a man standing inside my closet. The man outside the front door laughed one last time. Check the closet, Ellie. I didn't check it. I am currently sitting with my back pressed against the kitchen cabinets, typing this with one shaking hand while holding a kitchen knife in the other. The men in the hallway have stopped knocking. It's completely silent now. But a few seconds ago, something small slid out from underneath my front door. It's a physical, printed photograph. I haven't touched it, but I can see it clearly under the kitchen light. It's a picture of me, sitting right here against the cabinets, holding this knife. The angle is from directly above me. From the kitchen ceiling vent. I crawled forward and flipped the photo over. Written on the back in thick black marker are 6 words. You locked him in with you.
Next story is a chilling confession from a listener who signs her name as Chloe. She writes, I was bored, lonely, and tired of the same old routine. So I made a post on an online friendship forum looking for purely platonic connections. I even added a selfie. Not my smartest choice, but I had just gotten a cute haircut and my eyeliner was finally perfect. Within an hour, my inbox was flooded with hundreds of messages, mostly from creepy men. But then one message stood out. Where are your facial features from? You look like an ancient painting. Normally, I would ignore that. But his second message apologized so politely. I'm sorry, that was badly phrased. Your face just reminds me of the religious icons in my grandmother's house. That was Julian. He was 21, a bit younger than my preferred age range, born in Romania, but living in a snowy city in Eastern Europe. He didn't try to be charming or send weird photos. He looked kind, though incredibly tired, with dark curly hair and eyes that seemed centuries older than him. Behind him in his photos, a strange silver amulet hung over his doorway. For the evil eye, he told me during a video call. My mother worries about those things. By month 4, our conversations weren't platonic anymore. By month 6, I was flying to his country. I did all the safety checks, sent his address and phone number to my best friend. We agreed to meet in public first. When I landed on that freezing Friday, he was waiting at the arrivals gate with a paper-wrapped bouquet of flowers. He looked even thinner and more beautiful in person. The first day was magical. We walked through the falling snow and drank hot coffee. But at dinner, Julian seemed intensely nervous. He ordered too much food and barely touched a bite. Are you okay? I asked. I'm just nervous because you're finally real, he whispered, his fork tapping against the plate. That night, he walked me back to my hotel. standing under the dim streetlights with snow melting into his dark curls. He looked so vulnerable. I wanted to kiss the worry off his face. So I did. His lips were freezing, but incredibly soft. For a split second, he kissed me back with desperation. Then he suddenly pulled away so hard he almost stumbled. "I'm sorry," he breathed, checking his mouth with his fingers. "My mother told me not to bring you home tonight. She worries about me." I laughed it off, assuming he was just shy.
The next evening, I visited his apartment. It was an old building smelling of radiator heat and fresh coffee. Seeing his familiar sweater on the chair made my heart melt. He was so nervous in the kitchen, blushing to his ears, clumsily dropping a spoon while trying to make me tea. "Julian, I'm nervous too," I smiled, stepping closer. He didn't move. His eyes darted past my shoulder toward the silver amulet hanging above his front door.
"You know, you can touch me," I whispered. I was so deeply in love with the version of him I had carried across the ocean. I leaned in and kissed him again. He let out a gasp of pure relief. His hands came to my waist, his fingers gripping my sweater, trembling violently. He looked so young, so helpless. Then his breath caught, and my jaw suddenly unhinged. I didn't mean to, but my throat opened up. Julian looked down at my mouth, and the sheer terror on his face froze the entire kitchen. He tried to speak, but his voice came out as a tiny whimper. I placed both of my warm palms gently on his cheeks. My mouth opened wider, too wide. Julian made a sound I've never heard a human make before, too shocked to be a scream. I pressed his forehead against the roof of my mouth. His hands frantically slapped my wrists, then my shoulders, desperately trying to push himself out. But I had already leaned entirely over him. The back of his head slid past my teeth. The tea glass fell and shattered against the floor. His body kicked wildly, his heel striking the blue kitchen cabinet. His knees buckled, and we went down to the floor together, while I held him tightly, comforting him. His hot, panicked breath filled my lungs, and then, finally, his movement stopped. My throat widened around his shoulders with a slow, heavy ache, my ribs opening in small, silent clicks. When the last of him passed my teeth, I was just kneeling on his kitchen floor in my wool socks, breathing quietly. The radiator knocked in the wall. A single strand of his curly hair was stuck to my lip. He tasted faintly of lemon. And mostly, I felt incredibly full.
Suddenly, Julian's phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit up with a final text message from his mother. It was in Romanian, but I recognized the central word immediately. Strigoi. I knew that word. I don't know her language, but I know what terrified mothers call girls like me. Strigoi. Lamia. Hextabay. Mondarugo. Different languages, same ancient warning. I opened my own phone after that. My friendship post was still up online. There were dozens of new, unread messages waiting for me. Men saying, "Hi,
Saw your selfie. You have such interesting eyes. Where are you from? Where are your features from? I know I should delete the post, but the thing is, I keep getting my heart broken. They always disappear before it truly works out.